Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. My name is Cage, and now I want to show you how I set up my circuit rhythm. And of course, I'll show you my tips and tricks and my favorite styles of playing on this instrument. First, that I want to do is switch it on. It is not so fast, but in the memory of this instrument, a lot of samples. Well, we should play all of my samples of this project. When I bought this Groovebox, I preferred upload one type of sample on one page. We have 8 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can navigate on these pages by pressing down up and down buttons. But later I started to uploading different types of samples on one group, I think, one page. Let's some of the pages are empty, so for my convenience I use trick which called sample flip on the first channel, first track. By default, when you choose some sample, you can just set the sample on the timeline. Blue or cyan buttons is the timeline, orange lanes is the samples. I'm playing the sequence, the pattern, and it plays. Let's play the pattern faster. BPM is changing by the pushing the button, tempo swing. Blue or cyan is setting up BPM, orange is swing 50, without swing 80 is maximum of swinging, and 20 is minimum. If I turning on the metronome, we will hear the swing effect. I think you understand this. I really rarely use swing. Maximum values for me is 55, 57, but often I use 50 without any swing. What about sample flip? When I'm holding down the sample button, I can place it in different places on the timeline. Next, I'll choose another sample. This is kick, and this is snare. Let's place it here. And now we can hear kick and the snare, and the kick and the kick and the snare. Sometimes when I need to separate kick and snare, of course I use classic type of workflow on this instrument, like kick, 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 and the second track is snare. I think it's very easy and understandable, and every one of you is know this. Let's try most basic rhythm. 4 on the floor, kick, snare, kick, snare. On the third track, I usually put the hats. Most common situation is hats on every 3rd, 7th, 11th and 15th step. Let's choose some hat. From some moment I started to use only opened hat because I have a knob which allows us to changing envelope of playing the sound. Here the open hat. And now this open hat became closed hat. I think it's a very useful feature in this instrument. In any time you can turn this sound back. I mean, return the tail of the sample. Just by rotating the slope knob. And of course, we can automate this stuff. Like in the pattern 1, I will use closed hats. In the pattern 2, here we can use open hats. First closed hats, second open hats. I will push the record button. In the beginning of playback, I turn this counterclockwise side. I mean on the left. Record, play, on the left. Maximum on the left. And in second pattern, I forget, I should duplicate first pattern in the second pattern. Now we have totally identical patterns. But in second pattern, I will turn the knob totally, not totally, to the right. And now you have one sample which I use to create open and closed hat. I think it's a very useful feature, very useful. Next, in fourth track, four or maybe here fourth track, I usually use ride, but not always. Something like this. In the most of situations, I playing the rides with hats pattern, while hats are playing 16th. Something like this. Now second track is playing empty pattern. Next, third track playing open hat, and in next bar I will play 16th hats and continuous right sound. Something like this. Sometimes I don't using a right and I'm using some effects. About effects, it can be everything, like something noise, distant sound, something like this. I really like this atmospheric distant sound. I can place it here. Next, 5th and 6th tracks I use for more musical timbres. I mean, like bass, pads, or leads, or maybe vocal samples. Now we getting closer with another trick which I really love to use. When I bought this instrument, it's first what I was test. Real-time pitch changing and real-time changing start time of sample. I'll try to explain. First, tune or changing pitch. I pushing the button, and while sound is playing, I can change the pitch of it. That's really great feature. I loving it. That's fantastic feature. I totally agree that this sound is very strange, weird and freaky. But it's okay, for example. And about start time of sample. This feature is most useful for drum and bass, neurofunk, dubstep and any aggressive music styles which need more movement in the sound, more difference in micro timing, I think. I mean, just listen it. Let's find the bass movement. I know that isn't bass, but this sound have abilities to show you what I want to say. I'm playing every time only this sample, but while I playing it, I changing the starting time of the sample by this knob. And look at this. I'm turn it right, and we can hear the starting point later. Listen it. And this is killer feature. We can set the tune down for this sample. if I will play this with classical drum and bass pattern, faster BPM, I mean 184, one of my favorite BPM in the drum and bass music. I know this sounds like plastic shit, but with bass, nothing plastic, nothing shitty. If you don't like the high of the note, you always can change the pitch by changing the note on the scale mode. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C of the next octave. We also can show 2 octaves. Sometimes it's very convenient, and of course we can transpose all of it down or up on 1 octave by pressing in the note mode shift down. Listen it. Still not very good, but now you know that you can transpose it down or up on octave by pressing in note mode, shift and up or down. Let's clear this pattern. Clear 5. And now we can choose lower note. Oh, one more feature. In the circuit rhythm, we have not 16 step bar long, but 32. And we have this button to choose what part are displayed on their pads. From 1 to 16 and from 17 by 32. Here, first, and here, 17th. It's really cool, but it's not all. Let's record something. As you see, this knob light is blinking while pattern is playing. That's because this parameter is automated. Next, about bar and its length. In 8th track, I use it for crash and rise effects. Something like this. Here's a crash. I set it like sample flip in sample flip mode in the first step of the pattern. And now crash will sound every bar. It's very unfun. I mean, it's not fun, because if we want to play it rarely, we will should change the time interval for playing. it's not really convenient for me. More convenient that I can change the step length. I'm pressing button settings and choose left pad. Now this pattern will playing not 16th notes but quarter notes. Just try it. It's more interesting, but we still can press the button which getting bar in 2 bar long. Second bar. Now we have 1 bar. First quarter, second, third and fourth quarter. Next bar, next bar, next bar. 4 bars in one pattern. But when we push down the button 1/16, 17th, 32, we have another 4 bar. And now we have 8 bar pattern. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. Whoa! For a more interesting transition between parts of track, I use SFX in the end of our long pattern. Let's find this sound. Why not? This SFX I'll use for rising up the energy in the end of last bar, and it will loop into the crash. Again, sample flip. I'm pushing down this button and setting the start sound here, for example. Almost great, but I think we should feel the sound here. And finally, 7th track. I think for me it's very convenient to use on 7th track drum loop on tops, on maybe Amen break, or maybe something from funk classics. Why not? Now we will go to the slice mode. We can go there by pressing down sample mode button, then pressing slice. It's quarter parts, it's 8th parts and 16th parts of slicing, 16th. Now, when we going to the note mode with this sample, with loop, we can I think it's really convenient to create something breaks, some like fills or background drum break. Well, first what I need to do is filling up every step with every note. Just for example, we can do it with any order. Check this out. sound dirty, sound not really fitting here, like this rhythm of original break doesn't fit our rhythm. But I will solo this track, I mean muting other tracks and keep playing only 7th track. Too fast and dirty. What I can do? I can go into the sample mode and press one of these buttons. Left button is pitching down the original sample loop, and second right pad is activating the higher sounding loop. It's really better, but not brilliant. It sounds like really slicey, I think. Well, if you can't do better, let's do worse. I will turn slope knob on the left for more spiky sounding. Now I think it's really better. Else, this loop are breaks with powerful kick and snare in the first track. It can make some mud, some dirty of sound. And I'll just turning up the high pass filter on this track. And now this loop sounds very organical, very spicy, I think. And let's listen it with other tracks. And of course, every performance can be better with muting some tracks and rotating the master filter for creating more energy. And of course, we can use grid effects. Very convenient piece of gear. What else I should to say? I really like the feature with creating scenes from patterns. I mean, I can creating the scene, I mean this order of patterns playing now, and saving it into the scene memory in the master menu. Shift and first button. And now first button will recall this order of patterns. In first slot I will do something like this. And in the second slot I will do something like this. And let's listen it. Oh shit. My microphone is trying to die today. It's awful. Awful. Shit. Shit. My microphone is trying to die today. Fuck. Oh, shit. Well, what else I can say about this type of using circuit rhythm? I really like the send effects, especially reverb. Let's find some sound. Sixth track will sending sound in the reverb. Else, I think it can be very, very useful. Probability in drum and bass music and what's wrong with this preamplifier? It's trying to die today. Drum and bass, totally classical rhythm. Kick snare. Let's make this little more funny. Okay, we can create some steps with less probability of sounding. Let me show you. I will standing here and here extra kicks. Now I choose button probability, choosing sound which I want to change. Probability is 2 from 8. I mean, probability is not very big. And second, let's listen it. Some extra sounds will appearing like random sounds, random events. And this is really cool. I think that's all what I use in Novation Circuit Rhythm. But I really like to play some sounds from one track, like choosing some empty track and playing something. Why not? We can use it for creative performance. Just holding one track empty for jamming in the live. First, second, third and other tracks are full of sounds and one of it are empty. And we can play from other samples live. I think it's really great. Also, of course, we can use the mode of drum pads. It's fun too, but not so rich place for experimenting. For creating some beats, maybe. But I don't really like this mode. But sometimes I use it. Well, I think that's all what I can say about my type of using circuit rhythm. If you want to know about everything, every functions which realized in this instrument, you can ask me about it in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope we'll see you next time. And my microphone not be broken, I hope. Oh. I'm on fire! My amplifier! My fire! Trying to be dead! Trying to be dead, trying to be dead, trying to be dead, trying to be dead. I don't want it, 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 please don't broke. And I think it's a good idea to subscribe to my channel. You can push the button below the video. I think it's important. And again, I'm totally forget to explain you one more trick which I use. It's a chord cutting, I think we can call. Just listen it. It's chords from my video Scooter Homage. How it works. I have a sample which containing every chord which I want to use in the track. I recorded it by myself in DAW and import to the circuit rhythm. I take this sample and choosing slice mode, and the number of cuts is 8. Slice 8, and in note mode I have 8 chords. These chords I didn't use, but I can play something different with these chords. And we can combine this, and we can filter this like this. And of course we can make these chords like staccato. And if we wrote this sound to the reverb, of course we can create some paddy sound. FX1 for verb. It's cool trick to use. Oh. It's so sad that my microphone is getting dead.